also today. So, as some of you may know, that I use TikTok sometimes to wander around and to be exposed and to be out in the world. And sometimes a lot of people tune in and connect, and then they want to follow along. They want to try and join. So we have a lot of new people who are watching now, maybe for the first time. So welcome to all of you TikTokers. If you are watching on TikTok, but you plan to join for this meditation class, this Dharma exploration, then please do hop over to the YouTube channel now and watch there. So you can see everyone who's gathered together on the Discord, and you can also see me in HD. So what a treat that will be. And you will not have all of these random comments coming from random people on TikTok. So definitely, if you want to join fully, you can hop over to YouTube. The channel name is just my name, Bhante Varapanyo, same as my TikTok name, okay? So it's great to see Anushka and Karan and Christina and Matthew, Sela, Dominic, Nikki, Nina here. Hi, Jeff. And Robert and Sonia and Amanda, AJ and Amanda, Anastasia, Ayla, Britt, Mook, Peter, Simon, Steve, and Zion here on the Discord. And for the people who are joining on YouTube, you can say hello. I especially see Hoalu, who's joining. And Angela, Jennifer, Faney, Mary, James, Kanagawati, Mantis, Eliza, JB, Bob, Lynette, Kenneth, Mary, Vicky, Annie, Kira, Tess, Aquan, Frederick, Eliza, all kinds of real people showing up and joining here, right? So we all have a lot of inspiration and a lot of invitation to also really show up and be sincere at this present moment with our own practice. So we'll start today with just a few moments of getting settled in. So I will light some incense, and you can light your body by finding a comfortable, stable meditation position in which to sit in, to be in at this present moment. So we always start with spiritual practice or with meditation by setting the body down to be in a comfortable and stable position. This gives us some initial relief right away that we are no longer kind of dragging the body around in the outside world, needing to do this and to do that, but we're kind of intentionally setting the body down in a comfortable and simple position. We have a real big habit in our life where we just want to consume. And we also have a really powerful ability to just consume all the time, right? There's Reese's Puffs upstairs. There's a TikTok on our phone. There's a YouTube on the computer. There's always something to consume. There's always something to distract ourselves from what's happening now. But the spiritual practice, the meditation practice, is not based on consuming. It's based on, first and foremost, 100% stopping whatever it is that you're doing. Stopping whatever it is that you're involved with. So how do we start stopping? Find a comfortable, stable position to put the body down. We call it our meditation position. Now, at that time when we find a comfortable, stable meditation position, we can begin to turn the mind around. So begin to notice, begin to become aware of the breath as it's happening in this present moment. Begin to become aware of the experience of the breath in the body. Start to listen to the breath. Start to listen to the body. Start to be aware of the body at the present moment. And it can help to close the eyes and breathe deeply as we start to listen to the breath and listen to the body. Now, this isn't supposed to be the same experience as getting into the fridge. Oh, there it is. That's something to eat. That's something to consume. That's not what this is supposed to be. Okay? You're not supposed to find your lion's gate or your sacral chakra or your blue color special feeling. That's not what we're doing here. We are opening up to listening to what's happening right now. What's happening right now in the body. What's happening right now as the breath flows in deeply and flows out. Breathing deeply, we can participate in this healing process, this listening process. And also, as we follow the breath, as we listen in this way, we're kind of really showing up. We are embodying to be fully aware, fully present to what's happening right now. With each moment that we realize, wait a minute, this isn't the fridge. Wait a minute, I'm not getting anything out of this. With each moment of realizing that, listening more closely, opening up more fully to just breathing and being aware of what's happening right now in the body. Realizing, wait a minute, this isn't TikTok. Wait a minute, this isn't the shopping mall. This isn't the Amazon app. Every moment that we realize that, as we are following the breath as it flows in and flows out, opening up more to just listening, to just breathing, to just being aware. This deep listening and this willingness to give up our struggle and our desire, this constant desire way of living, is at the heart of any spiritual path, any spiritual practice. If you're serious about it, if you're sincere about it, you have to be willing to give up, willing to let go, and also willing to listen to the body. breathing deeply and listening, being aware. So, as a community, for the past few days, we have been in our morning sessions, our 10 a.m. New York City time sessions. We have been, for a number of weeks, looking at Zen teachings. So, teachings in the tradition of Zen Buddhism that originated in China. I'm sure many people here have heard about Zen. And we've kind of landed on this text called Knocking Gently on the Door of Chan. So Chan is the root or the original word that we now call Zen. Okay, Chan coming from China. And we've landed on this text, knocking gently on the door of Chan, or knocking gently on the door of Zen. And this is a text from a Zen teacher in a recognized lineage of enlightenment, a student of a monk from Taiwan named Master Sheng Yen is kind of the root teacher of this, the author of this text that we've been looking at. And we are now about to look at and get more closely into a special Zen meditation method called a huato. And the particular emphasis of a huato is the cultivation of doubt. Right? So the normal meditation methods, that the standardized meditation methods that we practice in Buddhism or in spirituality in general, mindfulness meditation, so following along with the breath, being aware of the breath as it flows in and flows out, mindful of what's happening in the present moment, to concentrate, to relax. And also another really standardized and important meditation practice is called metta, so loving kindness meditation. We develop and we establish this energy of loving kindness, loving friendliness towards ourselves. And these are the two main meditation methods that we work with in this community. Mindfulness, and sometimes a more open awareness-based mindfulness, and loving kindness meditation. But now we're going to look at this specifically Zen meditation method of a huato. And it's in some way connected to a koan. Some people here may have heard of a koan. That's like a thought puzzle, or a puzzle for the spiritual mind to kind of understand non-intellectually. So how can we understand this situation or this scenario in a way that doesn't grasp at it, doesn't try to reject it, but sees directly through it? And we can kind of express our understanding of it through a seeing through of it. Rather than intellectually responding to it. So this huato method is not necessarily a koan, but it's more kind of a question. A question that we raise, a question that we bring to our mind that arises a sense of doubt, arises a sense of wonder. So personally, in a huato meditation retreat that I participated in previously, I used the huato, the head word of what is this? What is this? Or what was my original face before I was born? What was my original face before my parents were born? So this huato, this question, invites us to doubt, to wonder. And this is what our particular reading will be looking at today. All right, so we will continue with this reading. So Zen Master Joshu was asked, and it's something to keep in mind that in these stories and with someone like Zen Master Joshu, okay, this tradition of Zen, this tradition of meditation, spirituality, whatever you want to call it, instant enlightenment Buddhism, you can call it so many different things, is going back hundreds and hundreds of years, thousands of years. And so when we reference someone here, we're not kind of referencing a random person from 50 years ago or 20 years ago, but we're talking about a multi-centurial lineage of deep, sincere meditation practitioners and monks that we are looking towards and referencing back to. And there's a large compendium of these access points and resources and teachers in this tradition that we can pull from and that we can connect with. It's not just that we have this one book or this one idea or this one person who's facilitating to understand all this, but there's a rich lineage and tradition that this is all coming from and connected to. Zen Master Joshu from the year 778 to 897 was asked in ancient China, does a dog have Buddha nature? This concept of Buddha nature is that we all have this Buddha inside of us, that we can all touch the Buddha ground, the ground of all Buddhas, the ground of enlightenment, if we can raise a thought of non-discrimination, if we can raise a mind of not picking and choosing, then we can step into this Buddha ground, this Buddha field. So Master Joshu was asked, does a dog have Buddha nature? Sometimes he answered in the affirmative, but at other times he answered wu, meaning no or non-existent. Most people understood when the answer was in the affirmative, in the positive, for according to the Buddhist scripture, all sentient beings are endowed with the same wisdom and virtue as the Buddha. So the tradition in Buddhist teachings is that all sentient beings have Buddha nature, have this capacity to enlighten, to brighten, to release their stuck, suffering, attached mind. And it was believed that all sentient beings could become Buddhas in the future. But it was a puzzle when the master gave the negative answer. So people began to investigate why a dog would not have Buddha nature. Meditation as investigation. Meditation as inquiry, looking into very closely, with a kind of fire, with a kind of inspiration. The purpose of this practice is to arouse a sense of doubt with a gong on, koan. You may wonder, both dogs and I are sentient beings. If dogs don't have Buddha nature, do I have it or not? So this is specifically talking to someone who is coming from this Buddhist background. They are a Buddhist. They have this understanding of Buddha nature. So this person would arouse a sense of doubt. Both dogs and I are sentient beings. We're supposed to have Buddha nature. We're supposed to have this capacity to become enlightened inherently. If dogs don't have Buddha nature, do I have it or not? So this questioning, this close looking. Thus, the koan gives your mind something to work on so that at first you are caught in the situation of inherent existence, where there is something real you can investigate. So we have to get caught. We have to get trapped before we can release ourselves, before we can free ourselves. This is a big part of meditation practice. You're already caught. You're caught by Reese's Puffs. You're caught by the fridge. You're caught by TikTok. You're caught by YouTube. You're caught by shopping. You're caught by relationships. You're caught by desire. You're caught by fear. You're caught all over the place. You're trapped all over the place. So this first koan gives your mind something to work on, something that we work on closely, so that at first you are caught in the situation of inherent existence. Now you're caught in the here and now. Now you're caught at something that is immediate, alive, close, something you can actually work with, instead of these vague notions of the fridge or Amazon or TikTok. So first you are caught in the situation of inherent existence, where there is something real you can investigate, something real you can cut off. This way you can at best reach the original bright essence of the pure mind. In other words, your consciousness is crystal clear without any fluctuations, and performs various wondrous functions and virtues. So the immediate point is something that you can grab a hold of, and then you can kind of get stuck on this real, inherent, true existence, something that's solid, something that's fixed. Then you can cut it off. So if you can do that, you can reach, at best, you can reach this original bright essence of the pure mind. So if you can actually work with a koan in the proper way to cut off this thing that you've grabbed onto, that you've gotten locked onto, and then cut it off, then you can reach this kind of bright essence of the pure mind. In other words, your consciousness, your awareness is crystal clear without any fluctuation and can perform various wondrous functions and virtues, good deeds. The problem, so this is what a lot of us, we want to get to that stage of meditation. We want to have this pure, bright, clear, special mind, and then we want to do all of these wondrous activities from this enlightened kind of mind, right? Or what we would call enlightened. By cutting off this something real, this someone, this something, this trap, this experience, this story. So your mind can become like that. The problem is that you can hardly get connected with the true wisdom of emptiness because you are entangled with meditative concentration and a certain wondrous form of mind. So the Zen path and the Zen teachings and the meditation path is also, and in fact explicitly, not to get entangled in positive states of mind either. Okay, this is also going to cause us to suffer. So even that bright, luminous, special mind that can perform all of these wondrous activities, if we are attached to that, if we are stuck on that, then we are cut off. We are not able to access this wisdom of emptiness, this wisdom of no mind to begin with. What's worse, you may even be caught in demonic states, so these negative states of mind, just like the 50 false states created by the 5 aggregates. So these aggregates are what form us together. Forms, feelings, sensations, perceptions, inclinations, discernment. In view of this problem of getting attached to positive states of mind that may come from a koan that you can grab onto and then cut off, right? This thought puzzle that you can grab onto and then cut off or see through. Then you have this bright, luminous, special state of mind, but then you can get attached to that, and then you can fall into all kinds of other different states of experience because you're attached. And you are not able to access this wisdom, this freedom of emptiness, because you're attached to a particular quality of mind that has come out from your cutting off of this thought puzzle, seeing through this one particular thought puzzle. In view of this problem, Zen Master Dehui Zonggao suggested distilling the huato distilling this koan method down to wu. With dogs have no Buddha nature as the huato, you may think of dogs, yes or no, and so on. Then you are still caught in duality. With nothing but the word wu, meaning non-existent or no, the simplest huato, the simplest word head, no thoughts of good versus bad or right versus wrong will come to your mind. The word wu is as sharp as the Vajra diamond sword, which can cut through all defilements. Keeping the huato in mind with a sense of doubt, we can eliminate a variety of practice problems such as distraction and torpor, laziness. However, if we try to grasp this precious sword, we are sure to get wounded, for it is not something that inherently exists. It is but a tool. Our intention to hold it brings harm. In the beginning, this huato enables you to deal with a variety of problems in practice. As you advance, it can also help you penetrate illusory experiences, because wu reminds you that these situations are not real. You won't stay in them. Okay, this word head, this thought head, wu, reminds you when you bring this huato to the mind, this questioning to the mind, reminds you that these situations are not real, impermanent. Whatever comes up in your mental or physical experience, totally temporary, totally impermanent. So, well, I guess not holding or grasping onto, but raising this wu reminds you whatever situation that's coming up in your practice, in your meditation, is non-existent, not real. This is like the simplest huato. As you advance, it can also help you penetrate illusory experiences, because wu reminds you that these situations are not real. You won't stay in them. It is true that the huato, what is wu, is special, but if it does not work for you, certainly you can try who is dragging this corpse along, or who is the owner of this mortal flesh. So it's not just about wu, but it is about this method of huato as a word head or a living word. Okay? This living question that brings up, that invites, that we raise, this living question, these living words that we raise in our mind to invite doubt. Okay? And so the huato becomes like this sword that cuts through our shallow thinking. All right? It raises this sense of, doubt. What is this? Who is the owner of this mortal flesh? Who is sitting here practicing meditation? Who is it? What is this? What's going on here? So the author here, Guo Ru, says, it is true that the huato, what is wu, is special. But if it does not work for you, so meaning anything could be your huato. It could be if you say, where is my car right now? Okay, and that invites this mystical, wonderful sense of doubt, then that could be your huato. But it's about if it works or not. So if what is wu doesn't mean anything to you, doesn't invite any sense of doubt, any sense of wonder, then that one doesn't work for you. But it is one of the simplest ones and the most direct ones that we can practice. So if it does not work for you, you can certainly try, who is dragging this corpse along? Or who is the owner of this mortal flesh? Who is the owner of this body? Now that's a curious question, right? That can arise some doubt, or some other huato. Whatever you adopt, the key is to do nothing but keep the huato in mind as you practice it. As is often quoted in the Zen school, both the mental and verbal paths come to an end. Okay, so a deep experience of spirituality here from the Zen perspective in the Zen school would be that both verbal and mental paths come to an end. Any path of thinking, discrimination, or speculation is blocked, and there are no verbal expressions. The moment you find nothing to ask and no forms of body and mind, all of a sudden you are in touch with the pure nature, and the cause of neither arising nor perishing becomes one with the consequence of neither arising nor perishing. So you're on the path at this point. This huato is like a tool, a blade, a vajra sword, a wisdom sword to cut through all of your shallow thinking, discrimination, speculation, thinking. So we raise the huato in our mind. What is this? Who am I? Where was I? What was my original face before I was born, before my parents were born? Takes us to this place of intimacy, this place of direct experience, right? So both the mental and verbal paths come to an end. Any path of thinking, discrimination, or speculation is blocked, and there are no verbal expressions. The moment you find nothing to ask and no forms of body and mind, all of a sudden you are in touch with the pure nature. And the cause of neither arising nor perishing becomes one with the consequence of neither arising nor perishing. The investigation of a huato can be divided into 5 phases. To raise, to keep, to ask, to investigate, and to watch the huato. And this is... Now we're back where we started. Does anyone have some essential question to bring up before we continue on? This will give us more detail about the huato practice, these next parts of our reading. Maybe we take a moment to find our breath and our body and our heart. Open up to some listening, breathing, being aware. Make sure that our body is comfortable. We can keep in mind for all these practices, if we're doing it right, if we're doing skillfully, we're moving from a complicated mind to a simple mind, period. Our capacity to move from a complicated to a simple mind is exactly our capacity to be on the way, to be in the way, the path. All right. Let's continue. So, to raise the huato. To raise the huato. In the beginning of huato practice, it is vital to take a proper attitude. Practitioners should be eager to dissolve their perplexity by adopting this method consistently so that they can have a clear idea of what wu really is. This applies to any meditation method really, but especially for huato, I suppose. In the beginning of huato practice or meditation practice, it is vital to take a proper attitude. Practitioners should be eager to dissolve their perplexity by adopting this method consistently so that they can have a clear idea of what Wu really is. Such an eager attitude is an expression of enthusiasm, a heartfelt urge to reach the ultimate achievement. Strictly speaking, this attitude is also deluded, but it motivates us to understand and achieve something. Without it, we lack momentum and cast doubt on the method itself. In the initial phase, please don't let go of the method just because I teach you not to have any attachment or discrimination. All too often, we are easily distracted by our own deluded thoughts or external objects. So we lose track of our mind soon after we start to raise Wu, soon after we start to raise our meditation method, whatever that might be. Whenever we get connected to deluded thoughts and defilements, we lose the huato. We lose the meditation method. At this moment, we have to bring our mind back to the huato again, which is called raising the huato. Okay? We also need to practice our meditation in this way, okay? Mindfulness of breathing, counting the breath, listening to the heart, listening to the body, whatever it might be, okay? All too often, we are too easily distracted by our own deluded thoughts or external objects, so we lose track of our mind soon after we start to practice, soon after we start to raise Wu. Whenever we get connected to deluded thoughts and defilements, so whenever we kind of get involved or entangled with thoughts, stories, objects, negative states that we find ourselves in, we lose the huato, we lose our meditation method. At this moment, we have to bring our mind back to the huato again, which is called raising the huato. Therefore, to raise simply implies an alertness with which we observe ourselves to see if we stay with the method at present, and to raise the huato as soon as our mind strays from it. Okay, this is also a really great, clear description of the meditation practice as a whole. As we raise, lose, and resume the huato repeatedly, as we raise, lose, and resume mindfulness of breathing, okay, the meditation method repeatedly, we simply know what is happening with an ordinary mind. We don't have to blame or doubt ourselves, thinking, why do I have so many obstacles? How come I sank into sleepiness or got distracted by deluded thoughts again? Even the thought of introspection or repentance is not needed in diligent practice. All we have to do is raise the huato all the time. All we have to do is raise the meditation method all the time. All we have to do is raise the mindfulness of breathing at this present moment all the time. That is indeed the diligent practice of concentration. Otherwise, as soon as discrimination or argument arises, many other scattered thoughts follow. Even if there are positive thoughts, they are a part of the mind of arising and perishing too. Even if in meditation, even if there are positive states of mind, positive meditative states of mind that come about, okay, they are a part of the mind of arising and perishing too. Then it is a practice of the distracted mind. As we raise the huato, what is Wu, what is no, what is non-existent, but really what is Wu, we should neither assume the existence of Wu, nor we should neither assume the existence of non-existence or nothing, nor grasp any sound or image of the word. We just keep our mind on the huato, asking what it really is. So these instructions apply to any meditation method, but especially here in raising the huato and raising this doubt. Who is sitting here listening to this talk? Right? It immediately turns the mind around, brings you back to this moment, to you, to your responsibility. Who is the owner of this mortal flesh? Doubt, wonder. Okay? The more you are established and embodied in doubt, the less easily you are deceived. Someone comes up and says, hey, you need to go over there. Is that true? Okay. So now does anyone have any questions about raising the huato? Also, it refers to raising the meditation method, whatever that might be. Does anyone have any questions about that? Raising the meditation method? Okay, someone asked on the YouTube live stream, do you follow this huato method? Is it Zen Buddhism that you follow, or are you open to learning all the different aspects of Buddhism? Thank you for the lessons live broadcast. Okay, thank you for your comment. I have practiced huato before, and doubt is a big part of my practice. It's not my main focus of meditation, but I do like to use it. And I'm open to learning all different kinds of different aspects of Buddhism, but I especially align myself with Zen Buddhism. Okay, probably too generously aligning myself with that, but it is what I like. It's what I'm interested in. Let's continue. To keep the huato. The second phase of this meditation method is to keep the huato. Instead of just repeating the huato, we keep being mindful of it. All right, so that first stage for practicing huato meditation is you're really repeating a phrase. Okay, who is the owner of this mortal flesh? And you might just keep repeating it. Now, how I learned the meditation method at the Dharma Drum Meditation Center in upstate New York, when I attended a huato retreat there, was their advisement was you need to establish some mindfulness of breathing. You need to simplify and stabilize the mind a little bit before you take up this kind of meditation method, because it's a little bit advanced. And if you are able to practice it skillfully, it's a powerful meditation method. So you, like, for example, they will say very clearly, do not practice this when you're driving a car. It's dangerous, because if you do kind of break through, you may not know where you are or what's going on. This great doubt may arise. Okay, so it's a powerful meditation method. And you need to have some kind of simplicity and stability of mind to practice it. But with Guru Ru here, he is alluding to the fact that you can exercise or practice this method by repeating the questioning. But there should be a kind of to question, and then this space, this open mind of doubt that you should be able to connect with. So like, who is the owner of this mortal flesh? Okay, this sense of doubt, of inquiry should arise. Not that you kind of need to repeat it like a mantra, but you can exercise it or try it out in that way. But that invitation, or that important point about finding a huato that works, like works for you, means that it does kind of arise this sense of doubt. So the ones, who is dragging this corpse around? Who is the owner of this mortal flesh? What is Wu? What was Christina's name before her parents were born? Where was Christina? Maybe you have to put your own name into it or something, that it brings this kind of curiosity or this doubt, this wonder into consideration, okay, into the mind. Okay, a couple things shared in the Discord. Ayla Michelle says, bringing awareness back to this moment, letting go of what had caught me. Yeah. And it all happens in the present moment, right? It just happens here. You know, healing happens all the time. Healing happens all around here. This is where all around is. And that's just it's absolutely unbelievable to change our perspective into that, isn't it? That this is where all around is. It's especially enjoyable after a cup of coffee, right? Sometimes some people get jittery, but there are certain moments when it's more enjoyable, certain when it's less, but it's this quality of this is where, this is all the time, this is all around, this is the present moment that's at the heart of our lives. This is our life. So Ayla Michelle shared, bringing awareness back to this moment, letting go of what had caught me. And Amanda, AJ, says, I think this is their huato that they're trying out. Who am I here now without a problem to solve has worked for me. Or what is here now when there is no problem to solve? So what is here now when there is no problem to solve? That sounds nice. And Robert says, what works for me is, what is the sound of one hand clapping? Or what is 1 divided by 0? Those are great. And what I would encourage about that is, try to find one like that works. And let me copy and paste those over to the YouTube. If I can, Control C it. And so kind of work with one of those, and then you can move to a more standardized or simplified huato as time goes by. But whatever one works for you is great. Okay, and I'll post a couple of them in the, there we go, in the YouTube live chat. So we're going to read To Keep the Huato, then we'll spend a few moments together and we will we'll wrap up. To keep the huato. The second phase is to keep the huato. Instead of just repeating the huato, we keep being mindful of it. In other words, we fix the huato together with the sense of doubt to our mind, so that we will not lose it so often. Because we have too many deluded thoughts, it is necessary to constantly keep the huato in mind, until we are hardly influenced by deluded thoughts or external situations. Until there seems nothing in between the huato and us, the meditation method and us. We are practicing this method and staying with it without letting up. The moment we become aware that we've lost it, we raise it again right away. The moment we become aware that we have lost our mindfulness of breathing, our listening to the body, we raise it again right away. The moment we find ourselves attached to any situation, we let go of attachment to the situation and resume the sense of doubt. Practicing the method diligently. While we are keeping the huato in mind, we need to arouse a sense of doubt. In other words, we must first feel an urge to search, a strong curiosity to know what it really is. Simply sitting there and raising the huato without keen mindfulness of it, we are likely to sink into torpor or be trapped in idleness. Torpor, kind of a lazy sleepiness. What is wu? Is not a factual description, but a question. The main point lies in wu. Because it is quite abstract, there is nothing our mind can get attached to. We have no concrete answers to hold on to either. We may feel dull or meaningless over time, so we need to link this question to our lives. Only then will this question become powerful and make us really feel something about it. This also applies to our mindfulness of breathing. Okay, so let's take a few moments, make sure that you're comfortable, stable, simple position, and we will raise the huato. We'll practice just a little bit to raise our own huato together. So Amanda shared the huato of, who am I here now without a problem to solve? Or what is here now when there's no problem to solve? Robert shared, what is the sound of one hand clapping? Or what is 1 divided by 0? I like, who is the owner of this mortal flesh? So finding your breath in your body, you can raise this huato, this sincere question. Who is the owner of this body? Who is the owner of this body? Who is the owner of this body? So at this time, I invite everyone to bring their hands together. And the usual way that we like to wrap up our sessions together here in this community is with the word sadhu, which means excellent, well done, great job. And also as we chant, to kind of offer out and share out anything that we got, anything that we gained from this practice. May we offer it out and share it towards all beings. Okay? So everyone's invited to chant along with me. You can take a deep breath and join me in chanting sadhu. 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 And we can make a bow. Okay, thank you all so much for joining. Our regular schedule, as many of you know, is 10 a.m. and 8 p.m. New York City time almost every day. And especially on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we have our Buddha Book Club on the topic of healing trauma at 8 p.m. Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, New York City time. This coming Tuesday, we are going to have a guest teacher and a guest speaker, a very high-level monk in the Thai forest tradition that's going to come and visit us and visit our community and give us a talk and answer some questions. So that's going to be Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. New York City time. This is a ongoing community space through Discord, and we're also sharing our events live on a YouTube. Thank you all for being here, and see some of you tonight. Tonight we'll be doing some silent meditation together, so see you there. Okay, bye everyone. Be happy. YouTubers, you can leave a like. Okay, you can click the like button on YouTube, and if you're planning to join the Discord server, please make sure that you read all the welcome information and you introduce yourself according to what is requested in our welcome channel, in our rules and welcome channel. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Be happy.